We on? Your mic is hot. Go ahead. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Board of Adjustments meeting, July 27th, 2021. Roll call of members, Jake Jofreon,
Present.
Willie Robinson,
Present.
Eddie Kraus,
Present.
and Devin Graham,
Present.
and absent are Mr. Brandon Bennett and Ms. Darla Harris. Right now, I'd like to open it up for any public comments. If anybody has anything to say about the Board of Adjustments, now's your time. Closing
one
public
signed up.
comments. Huh? Nobody signed up? Okay. Sorry. All right, next on the agenda, can I get a motion to accept the minutes for the July 22nd, 2021 meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Devin Graham.
Hot second.
Second by Jake Jofreon. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next, acceptance of the written decisions of July 22nd, 2021 meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Eddie Kraus.
Second.
Second by Willie Robinson. Everybody in favor? Aye. Motion passes. All right, first up on the agenda for public hearing is to consider the following variance of zoning review ID PZ-2680-21, Lot B in Quail Creek, first filing, Part 1 for Sheena Menard. Okay, why don't you step on up to the mic and tell us what you want.
Well, it's already built. It's actually a metal building. It's actually, they made copies of the building itself. I actually drew it out. It's a 10 by 36 shop. They got a lean-in tube that's 10 feet. The shop itself, the enclosed, is 24 feet. I ended up putting 18-inch footer, and we actually got the fiber in the cement itself, but the building is not done. When the permit guy came out, we had to stop what we was doing. So, but it's almost done. We need to bolt everything up and everything. So we need to get that done. And I was told that I needed a permit to do that. I didn't go through the proper channels or anything like that to do it. Now, if you look on the actual drawing sheet, the building is 20 feet from the actual back of the fence, and on the side of Mr. Ron's house, I know, once I actually found out what was going on, I found out it was supposed to be 5 feet. I did 3.9. So that's the issue.
Yeah, and the pictures of the building look like it's pretty much complete.
It is, but they got different colored tin on it and everything else. The company actually messed up, so they needed to come back out and redo it. The lean-in tube needs to be finished also. Like I said, it's not completely bolted, so yeah,
Yeah, that's scary.
yeah, a little bit, especially with the hurricanes coming and
Yes.
everything else.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I didn't know the proper channels until the guy actually drove up and put that letter on the building and told the company to stop. The company was actually there.
Yeah, the company should have known better. But we live and we learn.
You know,
Anybody have any questions for her? Oh, yeah.
That was the
press-
drawing that I actually did. I did pretty good for a few.
Yeah. You
Just
did good
saying.
pictures and everything.
So is it, all right, so the
Is your mic on?
Yeah, please.
Is it on?
If not, I think you can hear me. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on.
I hear you.
It is 20 feet off the rear property line.
It is 20 feet off the back fence
Okay.
to
And-
Mr. George's house. They hear, that's my neighbors.
Is there a specific reason why y'all did that? Or did you know that part and just not know the side? Or did
No,
you just
I
get
just kind of
lucky?
figured, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm in construction, so you think I would know to get I know, right? I know, but I thought if you actually, like, hit ground, then you have to get a permit. You know, like for a pool or anything like that. I ended up scraping the grass and I raised it up. The cement literally is 18 inches high. We didn't build underneath. So that's why I
Okay.
didn't think nothing of it.
So, but I'm saying, the 20, you just got lucky, you didn't know the side setback. you didn't know
Yes,
the
it's
yard.
the way my property is actually built, the backyard.
Okay, and,
And the 3 feet from it is the reason because of the gate, my wooden gate. That's
Okay.
why it's only 3 feet instead of the 5. It's the way the property is actually built.
so, and as I know, because I already seen it, but in the pictures indicate, so the building is there, the concrete's there, the lean-to's there, everything's in
It just
place.
needs to be finished, yes.
And after this, they still got, Lance, after this, they still got a good permit and let, Darren and deal with that, or?
Yes, that's correct. After this, they will need to go through the permitting process.
So our process is give them the variance, then they can go permit,
Yes. if you
or
grant the variance.
deny them and they
And
remove
then
it.
they need to do, what they need to meet requirement and still get permitted. Yes.
Okay, I just want to clear all that up.
What do I need to do? I didn't hear you.
we gotta do.
Oh,
Okay.
We'll have to decide what happens tonight, but I'm just,
Don't turn those mics on because it's
No,
hard
you
to
can't
hear
hear.
back.
so what I was saying was, I was just making sure the variance is there. If we give you the variance, then you still gotta do the permit, and if we don't give it, then it's removal of the building. That's the plan, right?
They could still meet the requirement, but they would still need to get a permit if they decide to keep the building there.
Okay.
I got a question for you. So basically, we're talking about 1 foot 3 inches of this overhang that you have? Is that right? Yep, okay. Any other
Yes, sir.
questions?
And I actually told Mr. Ron that I would put gutters on it from the rain and everything else. I can't do it yet until I get the permit.
Okay. All right, Jake?
That on there? You hear me? Are your neighbors giving any problems about that at all?
They right here. You
Yeah,
can talk
we're
to
gonna
them.
find
To
out in a
me,
minute.
when they
Okay.
talked to me, they said no, but they might
Okay.
have changed their mind.
Thank you.
By all means, talk to them.
Okay, with that being said, we're gonna ask you to have a seat for a minute, and we're gonna open it up for public comment. So, Ms. Jamaica, is anybody signed up to,
No one signed up,
no one signed up?
but I don't know if they want to talk.
Okay, yeah. Would anybody like to get up and have 3 minutes to speak for or against this issue? Okay, Mr. Ryan, you get up there and state your name and address and,
Ronald Bourgeois, I live at 16487 Highway 929. I'm just north of Sheena there. I'm part of the Quail Creek subdivision. Okay? Now, the issues I have right now is with stormwater. In other words, when the water comes off of her roof, it falls right over the fence on our property. And that's the issues I've got with it right now, and I brought other people here that have objections too, if they got a chance to speak.
okay.
But that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
Anyone else?
Name's Jennifer DeFrancis. I live at 39427 Lakeland Avenue in Prairieville. I'd like to start with we're all neighbors here, and, nobody's trying to be contentious, but unfortunately, we are bound by an HOA, and the building size, location, and materials are not allowed in our restrictions in the neighborhood.
But we don't,
I know y'all don't enforce that, but that's
No.
my public comment.
okay, all right, thank you, but yeah, we don't, we can't, we're not even allowed to take that into consideration. That's a civil matter. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We'll Okay.
respect, would you do it at the podium, please?
Good.
Do it at the podium, please? We want you to go to the podium, please. Thank you.
No, I just built a shop on, it is behind, yeah, behind her house, and as far as I know, I followed all the proper codes and the proper setbacks, and this is a metal building, and I asked for permission to build a metal building. They said no, so I had to build a wood frame building, which made the cost of it about 4 times.
I can't afford that.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did it, but I mean, it just seems like we've got kind of different.
Yeah, but again, we're not here to enforce HOA restrictions. I understand what you're talking about. I live in a subdivision. We have HOA rules, but that's a civil matter that you'd have to take up with a civil attorney.
Okay, because I got mine done. I think everything has been approved.
Yeah, I understand.
But
It's a beautiful shop. I'm a single mother of 2. That's my house. I live there. I can't afford a $70,000 building.
Okay. Okay, anyone else want to get up and say anything? Okay, motion to close public hearing? Second? Second by Eddie Kraus. Close public hearing. Any questions, comments, motions? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I need to ask Ms. Sheena to allow her some rebuttal. I'm sorry. So you got time to sit up and stand up and rebut what they talked about.
The point of the building was actually because my laundry room is in the middle of the house. This house was built in 1998. I'm the second owner of it. The dryer does not work because the vent is like 20 feet away from the outside. So therefore, there's moisture and everything else. I'm constantly calling people to come suck all that out and everything else. My water bill is going up, my electricity bill is going up, and my shed that's connected to the carport, that's what I'm putting as my laundry room. That was the point of the shop, for me to put all the stuff in the shed into there. Because I had lawnmowers and everything else, they were stolen. So after all that, I put cameras all over the house and everything else. This was the point of the building. I need a place to store. I'm not putting electricity, I'm not putting water in it, and I cannot afford 70,000 building. I can't. And it's a pretty building, it really is. I thought I did good. I put the fiber in it, I put 18-footer up on it. The leaning tube, the rating is 140 miles an hour for hurricanes. It's a good building. And HOA, I never hear from HOA unless it's due. It's time to pay the dues. So I didn't know I had to do all that, so I do apologize. I didn't.
Okay. Mr. Willie Robinson has a question for you.
Shoot.
Yes,
You look
yes,
like my
ma'am.
friend in Lafayette, too. He's a sheriff.
Okay, so the slope, how far is the edge from your neighboring property?
Say that again?
I think it's 3.9 feet, Willie.
Oh, the side of the fence to
So
the,
when
yeah,
the
it's
water run off,
3.9.
It's
Well,
it's
the
gonna run on your
point-
property?
Yes. I was gonna cut it back and actually put the, some gutters on it because that's the point of the 20 feet. And the back of the property actually goes down. So that's why it goes down, because of the drainage. It was built that way,
Yeah, so on the side,
on the side
on the side.
and on the back.
How many feet is it from that point to your neighboring property? It's
It's
3.5?
3.9, it's 3.9.
3.9.
After all this happened, I found out it was supposed to be 5 feet.
Yeah, so that's the question I had, because when the water is running off, is it gonna run on their property or is it still gonna run
It
on?
will, right, it is right now.
Yeah, that's not good,
It's 5 feet in ascension.
yeah.
Any other questions? You do? Hold on. Jake?
I got one more question for you. It's in reference to what he was talking about here. Is that overhang able to be trimmed back?
Yeah.
Any?
Yeah.
You can
It is.
trim that back
I can.
to where it's not running on his property and
Yes,
there's
I
not an
can.
issue on that? Thank you.
Mr. Devin Graham?
Do you know the distance you can cut it back? Is it 3 inches, 5 inches, a foot? Do you know how far?
That I don't know offhand. I don't. It might make it 4.5. It won't make exactly 5 feet.
All right, because my opinion is that we can't tell you to put a gutter, we can't tell you about HOAs.
But I told
We can
Mr.
tell
on
you-
that whenever I found out all this, what was his issue, and he did tell me that was the issue,
Yeah.
which it does. It does run on his property.
Okay, but I'm saying, so we can't tell you gutters, we can't tell you HOA, just clear that part up. Well, all we can do is give you a variance that says the edge of that roof is so far from your property line. The edge of that roof would also need to include that gutter as well. So whatever variance we give you, if we were to give you one, needs to also include that gutter edge. Would it be correct with that? Okay, so that gutter would prevent the runoff onto that roof. Knowing that number would give us something to run on. So there's two options, would be either to allow us to do a motion to approve a certain negotiated these gentlemen feel is adequate to deny, or that you could table, measure, and come back next month and talk about. Or move the building over to meet the numbers.
The cements.
I understand.
I
I'm just
can't-
giving you the options. I'm just saying these are the things that
Y'all
can lay in
more
front
than
of us.
welcome to come see.
So
Y'all more than welcome.
all I'm saying is there's an opportunity here for you to move it to next month to get an accurate number. And I'll come look at it. I mean, I know Perryville well enough, so I'll come look at it. So.
That's fine.
I think to kind of clarify what he's saying is if you want to table this motion, this thing, and find out from your contractor, you know, exactly what you can cut it back, 6 inches, 8 inches, 12 inches, what's the most feasible way of doing it, and then come back and ask for that 6-inch variance rather than this one, is an option, is
I understand.
clarifying.
I do.
So, yeah.
I don't want to prove something that you can't work with.
Understandable.
Right, exactly.
By the way, we're only giving you
Right.
decision. Again, without the microphone, my bad.
So I guess what we're gonna do now is, either somebody come up with a motion, or Machina, if you would like to table this, and can we do that, Lance? Is that okay?
Yes, but she needs to agree.
Okay, if you'd like to table this and kind of maybe do a little more research, and we'll come back.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll do that.
Okay,
You raising your hand, you planning on coming past by?
oh, wait, I'm sorry.
What I was gonna say, that we can't coach you or tell you to do that. What you need to do, you need to ask for it yourself to our
No,
board.
that's what I said from the get-go.
But-
That's what I was gonna do. I
Okay.
didn't think about actually getting,
Is
I didn't
that,
think about
is
that.
that adequate enough for you? For the,
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it.
Okay,
moving on.
so we're gonna table this till next month's meeting, and Machina will come back then.
Yes, and I also want to state that notices will be sent out again. So to the neighbors. So it should be coming up again next month.
Okay.
Y'all done with all of us?
Yes,
Yes?
thank you, we'll see you next month.
We can explain that after the meeting, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Mr. Ronnie, well, if you give us a second, let's run through this next one. I'll come explain to you what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me find where we at here. All right, next on the agenda, we got zoning review ID PZ dash 2695.21, Lot 8, B2A of Peter Bourgeois property for Todd and Adrian Bourgeois. Y'all here, you step up to the mic and tell us what you wanting to do, please.
Good afternoon. Thank y'all for having us. As you can see with our letter, we're asking for a variance on our property. My mother-in-law is in her late 60s, got numerous health issues, she was currently living in Monroe at the time that we filed the variance. My father-in-law unexpectedly passed away in July of last year, and with her health conditions, the property and everything, she just can't keep up. 4.5-hour ride is not feasible for my wife and I, who work every day of the week, to go back and forth and try to take care of her, take care of our young nephew who has special needs that lives with her. She has primary custody of him, his parents. One lives in California, the other one travels around with the pipeline working Lord knows where, whenever. So there's very little help that she has. We're pretty much her only options. She has 2 sisters, one that lives in Atlanta, the other one is the mother of the child that's traveling all the time. So since all this has happened, June the 1st, mother-in-law actually moved in with us. So I have my mother-in-law and my young nephew living with us currently. Our property once had 2 structures on it since early 2000s. Me being young and just getting out into the world, I originally put a mobile home on the back of the property. Where our house currently sits is where my grandfather's property home used to be. Sometime in mid-2000s, I guess it was, I moved on from the property. We got rid of the trailer, which dealt just my grandfather's property. Since then, my mom and dad took it over. My grandfather passed, in 2012, I think it was. My grandfather was still alive in his late 90s. I filed for a variance back then and was able to put another mobile home in there to help take care of him. My grandfather passed away, so we tore his house down. The flood came. We lost our home, so we actually built on the property where my grandfather's house was. The place where the mobile home is directly behind where our house is. We have 0.66 of an acre, which falls just short of being able to have 2 homes on it. Mm-hmm. The entire property that surrounds me is all relatives. My father lives on one side. My aunt has a piece of property on the other side. The neighbors in the back recently acquired that in the last few years, and they live in the back with 6 or 7 acres back there. Where we're asking for the variance, there's still a carport cover, there's a septic tank, and there's actually water still all there. All we really need is the ability to be able to put a mobile home in and hook the power up to it. So we would be bringing in no dirt, so we're not going to affect the flow of water anywhere. The flood elevation is, I think, 10 foot in our area, so the house is going to be, 6 or 8 foot off the ground as it is anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here tonight for, is to ask to be able to do that to help my mother-in-law, so that we can take care of her. We'll have her close by, and we can help take care of the little one and take care of her in her home.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Any questions? Okay, we are open for public hearing.
No one signed up.
Okay. We'll close public hearing. All right, any questions for Mr. Devin Graham?
So you said you had a variance already on the property?
Yes, sir. I believe it was 2012.
2012, yeah.
Whenever
When we did the variance.
we got married and we moved in on the property, and my grandfather was living, his house was still there at the time. He was still alive at that time. Since that happened, he passed away. We tore down the house. We moved the trailer out, and then we rebuilt after the flood on the same property.
So, we'll go back to land, so the variance doesn't carry over, it expire with a new permit of new home and all?
No, it goes with if it was requested and granted for the person, then it's for that person. I checked
My
with,
mother, I think, is the
right.
one that actually filed it.
That's
Yeah,
what we'd be
I
doing
checked with
today.
legal before, because I was hoping that you could move forward with
Yeah.
it. But that's why, that was the process that I was advised and agreed, and
What-
believe that that's what we needed to do.
Was it one of those variances that we granted only to that one particular person?
Yes,
or-
sir, and on it,
That's what it
it
was-
stated that also. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah, understand.
Is this, what's the zoning on this, rural? And the setbacks, y'all be able to meet the setbacks for the
Yes, sir.
property lines and all?
Yeah, we had to put one there in 2012, so we had to meet everything. I don't think anything's changed with the distances since 2012.
It looks like the sides are plenty good, but I think you got 20 feet in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Motions? Okay,
So this isn't a question, it'll be we'd want to grant, I would want to grant a variance similar to what you may have had in the past,
Okay.
which is specific to the person, the no renting it out, that if the person doesn't live there, it removes it, all that. y'all-
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Somebody else is
yeah.
gonna make the motion, but I just want to give the subjects that I think would be
Yeah,
important.
that's
No,
perfect
what we
for us.
wanted,
Okay.
actually, yeah, no.
Yeah, and that was the thing, with the first variance, whenever the circumstances changed, we took care of getting one of the properties torn down, and
Yeah.
I have no problem with that at all. It's not, I'm not trying to gain financially in the future
Yeah.
from this. This is my backyard.
Right, no.
yep. So you ready to put that out in the motion? I can't do it, I'm chairman. Okay, all right.
I'm gonna
Jake?
make a motion to approve it, with what he said, as long as we've got all that in there.
Absolutely.
Because he said a mouthful, but I think that's what needs to be done, and if y'all in agreement with that 20-foot variance on the back as well that we were talking about.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got a motion by Jake Joffrion to approve with stipulation that if the mother's not living there, that the trailer be removed.
Absolutely.
And
I will second that motion.
second by Eddie Kraus, all in favor? Aye, motion passes.
Thank y'all,
Guys,
gentlemen. Appreciate you.
Okay, next on the agenda, do we have any old business?
No, sir.
Nope, any new business?
No, sir.
All right, entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion by Devin Graham. Second by Willie Robinson. Adjourn.